Man, oh man, say it ain't so. Another failed test from Rematch Room. Gotta talk about it, gotta be about it, gotta walk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. In the words of DJ Khaled, another one. Now, in case you guys follow me on social media, at Boxingego, on Instagram, it's at Boxingego1. You would already know this, so it's up to you guys. I have a link tree. The link is in the bio, link is in the description. It'll directly get you to all of my sites. So you're well informed with what's going on. I got a little bit of everything on each platform. So make sure you guys subscribe. Now, Robert Helenius has failed a PED test. There was an adverse finding, his fight with Anthony Joshua. It doesn't change because Anthony Joshua, meet with me. He is the one that was victorious in the fight, and he brutally knocked out Robert Helenius. Some people would say that's karma. You try to cheat and you end up losing. So really, it's a terrible look. I mean, it was bad enough that Robert Helenius, he stepped up to the big leagues with the Wilders and the AJs, and he came up short, got knocked out in both fights. Versus Wilder, he was knocked out in one round, and then he took this fight on late terms with Joshua, and he ended up failing a PED test. So the thing is, Robert Helenius had a fight in Finland, I think it was, about a week before the Anthony Joshua fight. Dillian White failed a PED test, so they brought in Robert Helenius. So I don't know if he juiced for the Joshua fight or if the fights were so close together that maybe he was using performance enhancing DRUGSs for the other fight, and he just had remnants of it in his system. Or maybe he knew he was fighting Joshua as a big opportunity. He was trying to pull the upset. I don't know, but either way, it's a bad look. Because like I said, even if he didn't fail the test, I mean, he got knocked out brutally in back-to-back fights. So at that level, you know, you've lost to the bigger names that you faced, and your last coming out party was maybe Adam Kaunacki, right? You lost to Gerald Washington, just different things like this. So at world level, Helenius may be done. He could be facing a ban or some kind of punishment. He could retire. I don't really know. We seen Amir Khan, he had retired after the Kell Brook fight. They said he failed the test. So I don't know what the next move is for Helenius, but you hate to see it. Now, I got to address the elephant in the room. Eddie Hearn, DAZN Boxing, DAZN pay-per-view, Rematch Room. This continues to be an ongoing problem, and it's a bad look because literally within 90 days, probably 60 days, maybe a month and a half, but within about 60 to 90 days, Rematch Room and Eddie Hearn and DAZN have had 3 failed PED tests from different fighters for one reason or another, and they were all main event fights. Not like some scrub on the undercard. This is the main event. And 2 of the 3 actually happened, so you're endangering the lives of the fighters if someone's juicing or they have a banned substance in their system and these tests aren't coming out until after the fact. So Alicia Baumgardner, she was the second person. The first, so she actually fought her opponent, and then later they said the test came back and she had adverse findings. Recently, the video you're listening to right now, Robert Helenius, that's the third one. And then the first one was Dillian White, which was the reason that Robert Helenius was brought in the first place to replace Dillian White, who had failed a third PED test in his career and his most recent one. So I don't know what is going on with DAZN and Eddie Hearn and Rematch Room, but Eddie Hearn came into America like Eddie Murphy and he was bumping his gums talking about Showtime Boxing is going to be put out of business and put out their misery, yada, yada, yada. Now, fast forward to the future, they didn't get put out of business, and they have such a killer schedule that old media, they've like perished, and it's so undeniable. We're getting Brian Mendoza versus Tim Tszyu, likely getting Andre versus David Benavidez. We just got Spence Crawford. We're getting some great Jerron Boots Ennis will probably fight again. We had Gervonta Davis. He'll probably fight again, but he fought against Ryan Garcia and Hector Luis Garcia. So David Benavidez playing all these mega fights, great fights that fans are anticipating. Erickson Lubin is getting ready to fight a great fight with Jesus Ramos. David Morrell will probably likely be back, etc., etc. So there's a lot of great fights, and DAZN is out here struggling. They're out here struggling because they keep having these doping cases. Now, I understand none of the fighters are going to admit it. You know, Alicia Baumgartner, she's saying she's innocent. Robert Helenius, as of me recording the video, I haven't heard his response, but you know, he'll probably say he's innocent, and Dillian White's going to claim he's innocent. But the bottom line is you are responsible for what's in your system, and it's bad that it keeps happening on DAZN's watch. This is a terrible look, people, and people are now calling for Eddie Hearn and DAZN to be investigated. Might I add, Conor Benn. Now, the only reason I didn't say Conor Benn was because Conor Benn wasn't within the last 90 days, but that's another example of in recent memory, a DAZN fighter who failed a PED test. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Conor Benn is eating eggs, and then they're saying he's cleared, and the UCAD and the BBBFC is saying he's not cleared. What on earth is going on? And then you bring in a replacement opponent because the first opponent, Dillian White, failed a PED test, and then you bring in a guy that fails a PED test. I mean, this is crazy. Top Rank had a similar situation with their heavyweight, Jared Big Baby Anderson, and they brought in Charles Martin, who is a Al Heyman PBC fighter. He even thanked Al Heyman post-fight. He put up a good fight versus Anderson, you know, tested the young heavyweight. But at the end of the day, I didn't hear about either guy failing any kind of test or anything like that. And this was also an opponent that was brought in with 1 week to train, just like Helenius. So when Robert Helenius fought Adam Kaunaki, the 2 times on PBC, when he fought Wilder, we didn't hear about this. But then on these rematch room cards, people keep failing left and right. This is sick, and something needs to be done. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Best in the business, I'm out.